We've got you covered all season long. Welcome to the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, here it is. It's season 4, episode 24 already of the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by none other than Buffalo Wild Wings, the greatest of all times. We're hoping to put together the greatest of all shows for you today. Brandon Carnes, Justin Feldkamp, and Dion's not here. Dion looks different. Mason Lowry. If there's a lot of behind the scenes going on this morning, Mason, we appreciate you swinging in on some short notice to hang out with us today.
My pleasure.
Who's more handsome, Dion or Mason?
Oh, it's Dion. No
I'm
contest.
going to mute my mic and step off the set. We don't need any sort of fight. I don't want Mason mad at me. I don't want Dion mad at me.
And he wears more velvet and velour than I do, so that's
could be a deciding factor.
Huge points in
that
his
could
favor.
weigh in at the Met Gala for sure, probably on the podcast. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
I've got 1,000
Chuck
cardigan
Taylors.
sweaters and 30-some-odd pairs of Chucks.
I don't know if he's got you on Chuck game.
I'm doing the best I can.
It's a dead heat as we stand, and we're getting closer, gentlemen, to MAC tournament time. A lot of fun getting ready to happen over in Cleveland. And I got to thinking about all 4 of these teams are kind of middle of the pack right now in the MAC. If you could go back in time and find a player that has played for the Rockets or the Falcons to add to a team and say, now they are a MAC title contending team, I want to hear some of those picks. Mason, you got thrown into this last minute. There we go. Here's your quick trigger pull.
Put me on the spot. Well, I was thinking about, especially with Toledo, because I see Toledo every week.
Yeah.
What they're missing, and I think there's a couple of glaring player types that they don't have. Toledo women, in large part, I think, because of Destiny Robinson getting hurt in the summer, they need a point guard so badly, and they're getting by with Pat Anumba and Kendall Carruthers and a bit of Cadence Dykstra in there too. How much better would Sophia Wiard make this team?
Literally the name I wrote down.
I think Sophia Wiard is worth on her own 3 extra wins because they're 13-10 right now. I think they're 16-7 probably with her. It's not sustainable to keep winning games when you're turning it over 20 to 25 times. And Sophia Wiard would steady the ship, be on the floor for 37 minutes a game, would not turn the ball over.
A knockdown three-point shooter.
Yeah, would do, and a great free throw shooter too. And that's another area where they've struggled at times this year. For the men, I feel like the really good teams the last decade or so have had a real edge to them. And Raheem Moss would bring that. In addition to being another big, strong body who could step out and shoot, he could drag the rest of that team up to his level of just pure aggression. You know, he would ride the line sometimes, but Todd Kowalczyk was always okay with the odd technical here or there, the odd silly foul. That's fine.
Because he tends to get fired up himself.
Everything else that he gives you. BG, I went with Daquan Plowden because I loved watching him play. And Katie Hempfling, when you need a bucket, any bucket at all for BG women the last decade, she's the one who I would want to get it to on the low block, let her go to work.
Justin?
All right. Like all those, I'm glad I got 4 names that are not your names, so we'll spread the love. How about UT men, Nathan Booth?
Booth.
Back in the day,
Love
just versatile, handles the ball, tall, lengthy, always seemed to make the right play at the right time.
Able to stretch the floor, too, by the end of his career.
Yeah, and he's, to my knowledge, still in his career playing overseas.
He's in Japan, in
some
Sendai.
darn good money, and I always check in with Coach Todd Kowalczyk preseason media day and just kind of, hey, how's Nathan Booth? And he's still putting up points, so I'll give you that. And then women, Michaela Boyd. I mean, she is just well-regarded in that program. I think some of the diehard women's basketball, UT fans even created an award named after her. So I think that she would just fill in any legit team-making roster-building process. On the BG side, Justin Turner can't complain about 20-plus points and the ability to say, okay, give him the ball, find a way to score somehow, some way, or drag 2 or 3 defenders to you and then find the open man. He was just a walking bucket. And then how about women? Clay High School, Kate Ochter.
Can't go wrong.
Just part from that team back in the 20-ish years ago that were just superb and put BG basketball
tournament experience
on the map. And someone who just a great teammate could give you the defensive prowess as well, in addition to putting up some points.
Basketball
and then
IQ.
always making that right, correct play, whether you're on offense, defense, making sure that the right person gets the ball in the right moment and leading the team to success.
It says a lot about the players that we've had in these programs, because we get to me, and I still have 4 players that neither of you said.
Nice.
On the UT women's side, I talked Sophia Wired, somebody I wrote down. The other person, Nama Shafir.
Absolutely.
That WNIT championship team, another ball handler, another person that's able to fill you up offensively, fill the hoop up. You get Q in there too. Quenisha, ton of fun. Just the person that Quenisha was, I'm taking back on the team. She's a blast to be around. K-Doctor I had written down. Marianne Jackson, Julius Brown, or J.D. Weatherspoon are the three I wrote down for men's basketball.
Of those
Juice
three,
Brown was a ton of fun.
yes.
Spoon, just the highlight reels, able to stretch the floor in the same way. And somebody else that had a little bit of an edge to him did Spoon. And then on BG men's, Rashawn Holmes. Pair Rashawn Holmes with Javante Campbell, two elite guys
NBA
that take the pressure off of each other. Dion gave me Antonio Daniels for the BGSU men. Can't go wrong with a top 4 pick in the NBA draft. His also pick, in case you guys don't know, 𝗦𝗫𝗀 for UT women's basketball. The 1991 MAC Player of the Year, 3-time All-MAC selection. Do you know who 𝗦𝗫𝗀 also is?
The mother of Alan Horton.
The mother of Alan Horton. We've got Alan Horton highlights all season long. Thank you to 𝗦𝗫𝗀 for everything she did at Savage Arena.
I'll take famous moms for 1,000, Alex.
And what she brought us at the pit. So there you go. There's our picks. Those are MAC championship caliber teams now. You are welcome. We've got plenty more on the show. Our game of the week matchup. We'll get you set up for a slate of games this Friday. And of course, our player of the week and so much more. Make sure you're here every single Wednesday for a brand new episode of the BCSN Nation podcast. Anywhere you get your audio mediums or bcsnnation.com/podcast, and make sure you're following at BCSN Sports so you don't miss anything. But now we got brackets, baby. It is time. We'll start in Division 1. Girls brackets, Division 1, Division 2 came out this Sunday. Boys Division 3 through 7 came out as well. We'll get to those when the boys brackets come out next week. We'll start Division 1, Northeast 1. All three of our D1 teams in separate brackets. Spencer hit me with the first one. All three of our girls teams in D1 in separate brackets. Like I said, Whitmer, the 10 seed here, they will play the winner of Mentor and Lorraine. This Whitmer team, on and off, hot and cold throughout the season. Better than they were last year, though, and that's a lot thanks to Madison Finch and Olivia Welch both playing well for the Panthers all season long.
Yep, Madison Finch was featured last week as one of our top recruits and playing at Ursuline next year.
Yep.
So good for him. I always just appreciate the upward trajectory of a program from wherever they were, whether they were, quote unquote bad, medium, or good, or great, and then if some other coach takes over or builds them up and just develops and makes them better.
Yep.
Somehow, some way, not every team is going to be chock full of D1 prospects or top-tier teams. Somebody has to finish in last. Someone has to finish in fourth. Someone has to finish in first type of deal. But, Whitmer is going to have their hands full, obviously, with likely Mentor.
Northeast 2 here now, the second bracket. This is where Perrysburg has landed, and they will face the winner. First, Brunswick, and then either Wadsworth or Euclid, likely Wadsworth. This Perrysburg team, though, Mason, playing a lot better as of late, and we talked about it last week. Huge addition, getting Hayden Siebenthaler back from that injury.
Yeah, and it's not just having her back. It's the fact that having her back means all the pieces fit now. It's affected everything. Addie Byrne is getting more and better shots, and the distribution of minutes seems to make a lot more sense now. And I saw them earlier on in the year against Findlay. They lost at home to a very young Findlay team. Then I saw them against Start last week, I think it was. Gosh, this time of year it all kind of runs together. And they looked so much more confident, much more fluid, like a totally different team. If you have Hayden Siebenthaler all year, you're maybe looking at
they're
I don't know,
there.
a league champion maybe in the Buckeye division, or certainly up there with Anthony Wayne and Northview. So, I mean, you're maybe looking at a Perrysburg team that could have been the 5 seed and not the 13. So who knows?
You mentioned Findlay there in our Northeast 3 bracket for Division 1. Spencer hit that one. Here we go. This young Findlay team, like Mason said, they'll take on Elyria in the first round, and they will get Massillon Jackson if they can get that win. This one, February 25th. We're going to be real busy on February 28th if all things line up real well.
It would be great to see 1 or 2 or heck all 3 of our Division 1 area teams get a victory and maybe go on a run. Obviously, when you're looking at the numbers of the seeds, it is unlikely, but our Findlay, Perrysburg, Whitmer, they kind of get a bad hand dealt to them right from the get-go, just with the travel situation. I mean, even if you are a top seed and get a singular home game in that first opening round, whatever level you're talking about, you're going to have to travel and go far just with this expanded divisions that the OHSA created last year, and you're going to have teams in our area that are forced to drive multiple times if you continue to advance. And back to the previous bracket with Perrysburg, they're likely going to have to face Wadsworth if Perrysburg wins. Wadsworth's number 3 in the state. So, you just want to finish strong and compete in those games, but that they're going to be challenged.
Don't count against Davini Harris. There's a reason that she is looking to be in our BCSN top 10 this week. Yes.
And you know this Findlay team, they theoretically could have taken that bye and gone straight to a district final.
Sure.
I think playing that district semifinal game, different atmosphere, different kettle of fish for all of these underclassmen that they've got, playing and hopefully winning a game against Elyria could pay off for them next year, because chances are they're not going to get out of the district anyway this year. So the experience of being there and winning a game could be huge.
Here we go. We'll go Division 2 now, Northwest 1. A lot more red on this screen. It's all local teams. Northview and Fremont Ross getting the first round byes. Anthony Wayne taking on Clay. Start taking on Southview. We've got 3 league champions just in this Division 2 Northwest 1 bracket. And we are ready for a lot of fun this is going to bring.
Yeah, Anthony Wayne, Northview, and Start all in D2. Anthony Wayne ranked 8th in the state in D2. Northview 13, Start 19. And they could all face each other at some point in this bracket. The regionals would be at Ridgedale High School in this one. Anthony Wayne would be the favorite, but Anthony Wayne and Northview played 2 close games. Anthony Wayne won both of those games.
Start beat Northview.
Correct. So there are some question marks,
some parity
in this bracket. Likely whoever gets out of this would have to face Worthington Kilbourne. They're number 15 in Division 2, or Westerville Central in number 23 in Division 2, or Big Walnut number 9 in Division 2 when you advance to the regionals out of this district bracket. But I think any of those coaching staffs of Northview, Anthony Wayne, and Start, and who knows, maybe Fremont Ross could,
another young, talented team.
Scripts do not go according to plan when it comes to the postseason. All you got to do is play 32 minutes of solid basketball, and your season can go up in smoke, or you are a surprise and then you advance, maybe unexpectedly.
If I've got to play 32 minutes of basketball to advance, I would not choose to go against Start. Start is such a tough out. They're so deep. They go 9 deep, and any of those 9 could make up the starting 5. That is a team that, if it ends up being Anthony Wayne Start, possibly Northview Start, who knows, in that district final, that could be a fight to 30 points with how physical they are.
In the words of Terrell Owens, get your popcorn ready. Somebody that brought their popcorn on Friday night was our Sean's Irish Tavern Player of the Week. Spencer, hit the wipe for me. Corrin Voltz absolutely played out of her mind Friday night, and Anthony Wayne took on Rogers. 42-33, the final score of that one. Yeah, Corrin Voltz scored as many points as the entire Rogers team. She also had 9 boards and an assist to go with it. They had some star players. They had both the Pikes sitting. Some load management, Greg Popovich style in this one as they took on Rogers. But shout out to Corrin Voltz, our 3rd different Anthony Wayne General to win a Player of the Week award. Hey, Dion, I know you're not here, but you didn't pick Corrin Voltz. Your streak has come to an end. So shout out to Corrin for that one. This Anthony Wayne team, so many different ways they can hurt you. We just saw them in the bracket, and if you're going to sit probably your 2 best players and then let your 3rd option go nuclear in a win, good sign heading into the tournament.
Absolutely, and Corrin Voltz was one of my picks, I think my last pick for the top 10, at least in part because of how impressive that performance is against a Rogers program that we know is always up for it.
Absolutely. That team always ready to play. Coach Lamar Smith and company. We'll be right back to keep this show rolling after 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings. Spencer, hit it.
Buffalo Wild Wings, buy one, get one free. Boneless Thursdays saved me so much cash. I can finally do everything I've ever wanted in life, like skydiving. You ready? No, this was a mistake, a huge mistake. I want to go back. I want to go back. Go, go, go! Ah! Yeah, I'll probably just use the money I saved to get more buy one, get one free boneless wings at B-Dubs. No brainer. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
And lucky for us, we welcome Mason in on a game that he called last night. He's got all the inside information. A major battle in the NLL Cardinal last night. The championship essentially up for grabs. Each of these teams still have a game to play. But Southview getting the overtime 70-63 win over Clay. And a team at Clay that we've talked all season about it. How are they going to manage losing Antoine Mister, losing Usry Martin? And they came game ready to play to Coach Armstead's guys.
How are we going to manage narrowing game of the year down at the BCSN Honors.
Yeah.
We've seen so
We've had a
many
bunch.
great games.
Lucky
And
us.
you can almost fill it with 5 basketball games. There's been so much just terrific basketball played this year. First time I'd gotten to see Clay in person. I didn't see them the first half of the year with Mr. and 𝗦𝗫𝗏 Martin, who, of course, have had to sit. So impressed with the job that Lionel Armstead has done coaching this group up, because this is a team that now has essentially no depth. I mean, they play 6.5 guys. There's a JV post player that's came in, Jarvis Lloyd, hit a 3 last night. They run extremely good, patient, crisp stuff on offense, lots of give and go, pick and roll. It's really old school basketball with 4 guys that can step out and knock down open shots from the outside. A real battler inside in Carson Vincent, who went toe-to-toe with Jaron Witcher last night, was really, really good. And great length. Like, their whole rotation, they don't have high-end size per se. There isn't an Alan Horton on this team, but what they do have are 6 guys that are 6'1" to 6'5". Liam Cody has crazy wingspan.
Great.
He's stepped into the starting lineup in 𝗦𝗏 Martin's place and has done really, really well. They clog passing lanes. They go full throttle for 32 minutes. The unfortunate thing for them last night was that they only went full throttle for 32 minutes. It seemed like after Grant Oberdick's layup to force overtime at the buzzer, they ran out of steam in OT. And to tell you this, on the Southeast side of things, the fortitude of Jaron Witcher to miss those 2 free throws in the waning seconds that would have iced the game, the disappointment of going into overtime, and then totally take over the first 90 seconds of the extra session. And I know he's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. That shows the
still a high school kid, right?
Mental maturity of a guy that's played so many games, but not everybody is equipped to do that. A guy made of less stern stuff, that would have knocked the stuffing out of him, knowing, gosh, if I had made those free throws, we'd be celebrating right now instead of getting ready for 4 more minutes of basketball.
Justin?
Really impressed with him and everyone else.
Yeah, both of these games were evenly matched, even when Clay was at quote-unquote full strength. It was 48-43 back on January 13th. I think it was the last game of the first 11 that Clay was able to have both of those guys. But kudos to Coach Lionel Armstead for coaching the guys up and developing, and he had a game plan. You can see it's being played out because he knew that they would have to sit halfway through the season. But I really like what Jackson Pollock did and Robert Webb did for both of Southview's kind of role players. Jaron Witcher, and Damian Clay. They're going to get their points. They had more points than Northview in the rivalry game this past Friday by themselves.
Scored 44
in this matchup. And then you mentioned it with Rhett Boyd on the call. Game of mini runs, 5-0 runs, then a 4-0 run, then an 8-2 run, that type of deal. And really you could say, oh, man, this one might get away. But then the other team countered with the run to keep it close. And that out-of-bounds play there with 2.5 seconds left, and talking to Coach Dennis Springs, he told me, when you have younger players, Webb wasn't guarding the ball, and he was kind of looking both ways, and then a screen, a well-executed play by Clay, but one that you probably think as a staff you should be able to defend it a little bit better. I mean, they got a layup, in some ways an uncontested layup to tie the game and force overtime, so you'd rather have them take some type of contested shot or desperation shot to tie it.
Put them at the line, have to think about it.
But you know what? Speaking from someone who coaches youth sports, that is how you develop kids. They have to learn it from themselves as opposed to telling them. You got to, in some ways, live and learn. There's a reason why that's a cliche, live and learn.
And just a little coaching thing about that last sequence in regulation. How many coaching staffs and how many groups of players, when you're down by 2, 3 seconds left, are going to work something to get off a 3, and we're either going to win or we're going to lose. Very few would have the gumption to go into it to try and force overtime, and I love that.
I've said it all season long. This Clay team is going to be a problem next season. Somebody who is currently a problem, he's our clip of the week, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Spencer, hit it. If you haven't seen this, I fear you may be under a rock. And somebody who flies high above the rocks, Willie Daggone Foster. He about touched the heel of his shoes as he cocks this thing back. Number 1 on SportsCenter. Over like 1.3 million views on our socials alone. Worth every replay you're going to find of it. You hard-pressed to find a better high school dunk. I don't know if I saw one better than this in the NBA dunk contest over the weekend.
fantastic. I mean, the
Wait,
views
what's left to
speak
say,
for
right?
itself. You put it in slow-mo. I love the fact that it came off of solid defensive
Yes.
pressure, and then you got the ability to do that. Not everybody on a high school basketball court can do that.
One in maybe every 5,000. Unreal. Check his shoes for springs, by the way. I don't know. Those legal shoes, my gosh.
That is the best high school dunk I've ever seen. I doubt I'll ever see one better.
There's not much left for us to say. Everything has been said, and just one more view of it. Our clip of the week brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. You want more just like this, head over to our TikTok at BCSN Sports. And now you're wondering, Brandon, where's the chain going to go this week? Plot twist, the chain already found its home. It got a little early week visit. Caleb went out to Bowling Green last night. They took on Springfield. We got a graphic to prove it. You don't believe my words. The Unison Health and Mental Health Recovery student section of the week. The Bowling Green Bobcats. They bring it every single week. The ESPN theme in the photo
I
here.
love that.
Fitting to follow that Willie Foster slam. And you'll see more from this, hear from Caleb this Friday on Game Day Nation. Unison Health reminds you it is your time and your choice, and it is now our choice to move into a great game on Friday. We talked about league champions matching up in that Division II girls bracket. Para-league champions squaring off this Friday at 7:15 p.m. on the BCSN Plus app. Lima Senior heading to the Hive to take on Perrysburg. Two teams that getting in a great matchup here right before playoff time rolls around to kind of once again test your mettle. Lima Senior has been tested throughout the season. They still have tough games to play even after Perrysburg. But this is a great test for Perrysburg to see how do we match up with literally one of the best teams in the state with some of the best players and high-flying athletes like we just saw.
100%. These two teams played last year, roughly around this time. Lima won 84-60. So Coach Chris Stein knows he has his hands full as an assistant last year and now as the head coach. But he's got Ben Paymer, he's got Braylon Foster, Tyson Bauer, Adam Gray, to name a few guys who are going to have to come up big. But they're going to have the challenge of matching the athleticism of Lima Senior and Coach Quincy Simpson's group. Willie Foster, Sean Foster, Noah Simpson, just to name a few of theirs. But that defensive pressure, Coach Simpson talked about it after that start game in which Lima won the City League championship. He made no bones about it. He said, we practice these guys hard. We push them so that a game is easier than practice. And sometimes it's what you'd like to say as a coach, but I mean, they live it.
Absolutely.
And then you got to have the right group of kids to embrace that and not run up against and counter the head coach's authority, because they should believe that they can win a state championship. And this game that will be on BCSN Plus on Friday night will be a great test for both teams to see where they stand as they approach the latter stages of February and potentially March.
Yeah, it's interesting because I doubt very highly Perrysburg has seen somebody as physical and athletic as Lima, and as intense as Lima Senior. But I don't know if Lima Senior has seen anybody as precise offensively as Perrysburg. And right now, the Yellow Jackets are the best version of themselves. They're getting off to really good starts. Yep. They're putting, like last night, they had
30-7 after the first quarter.
They had three different runs of 7-0 or more in the first 8 minutes. Yeah. They're starting games really well, and there's a really interesting line from Chris Stein afterwards. He says, we've had a knack this year, and especially lately, for matching teams' physicality. And however physical the other guys are, we've been able to match or exceed that. It's going to be a heck of a thing if they can find a way to do it on Friday. Yeah. But if they can come close to that, with as precise as we know they can be and are right now on offense, they're going to be in this thing. It's going to be really interesting. I'll be following it from afar.
Lima Senior's roster is going to look similar to the Division I teams that Perrysburg will face in the tournament.
Talent level,
excellent
size.
Point.
It's only a win-win situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll see Sean Foster likely to be back. He's been hampered with an ankle injury. Noah Simpson has stepped up huge, 41 points in their win over Lima Central Catholic on Saturday. Of course, Willie Foster and the rest of the guys on that team. 7:15 p.m. on the BCSN Plus app. We haven't even gotten to Game of the Week. Brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon. Spencer, hit it. Here we go. We're heading to the Sullivan Center on Friday for the Game of the Week. St. Francis at Central Catholic, 7:15 p.m. right on the main channel on BCSN. These two teams met up. Central Catholic getting the win earlier this season. But again, this is another opportunity for both of these teams. Central getting into the D3 playoffs, seeing a very tough Division II team. And for St. Francis, you know what this Central Catholic team is and what they bring and how they can prep you for this bracket that's coming out shortly for them.
Yeah, I saw St. Francis on Monday against Start. They hung on to win that game by 6, despite really struggling to shoot free throws. I think at one point they had 8 or 10 in a row that didn't go in. I think that was a great, I don't know if it was an accidental scheduling job on Jamie Kaczmarek's part, because I think that was a game that was scheduled earlier in the year in bad weather and ended up getting kicked around a bit and then played on President's Day afternoon, which isn't exactly a typical time for high school basketball. Alan Horton is going to see more defending like that. And who knows, we could see St. Francis Start again, that exact matchup. Start at times had 4 guys around him in the paint, and you take your chances, leaving everybody else open.
Chris Polnitz had a good game, had 24.
The thing that would worry me about St. Francis, not just on Friday, but in the tournament, they are not a good jump shooting team.
Yeah.
I mean, they shoot, I think, 24% collectively from 3. Alan Horton can score inside. Polnitz can score inside. Trayshawn Chenault can step out and knock down jumpers from the elbow. But if they're not having good fortune on the inside, they struggle to put points on the board, and it hasn't gotten any better with Cedric Hester being out, who's not a great offensive player, but is really gifted defensively and offensive rebounds.
Long kid.
And you miss 11 points and 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
And looking at this matchup Friday, they don't have Cedric Hester, of course. They lost to Central by 12 when they played the first time. Central Catholic now has Dre Wardrop healthy, who was out the first essentially 60% of the season with a couple of minor things. He had 19 points last night on the road at Findlay in a big win for Central Catholic. So St. Francis feels diminished without Hester, and Central's gone from strength to strength. A really good team anyway, and then put in a regular starter the last 2 years who can come off the bench. That is a really, really dangerous Central Catholic team.
Yeah, Chris Polnitz is done great. You mentioned 24 points against Start. He had 32, I believe, the game before.
Yeah, Liberty Center, yeah.
I think that 1-2 punch of Alan Horton and Chris Polnitz will have to be key, not only in this game, but any potential tournament games that St. Francis plays. And if I'm Coach Kaczmarek, let's just put our best foot forward. Based on how the season has progressed for both of these teams, Central Catholic is the favorite in this matchup. They've already beaten them once. But you want to be able to go out and compete on a rival's court. And then after this game, once the postseason starts, if I'm Coach Kaczmarek, hey, fellas, let's wipe the slate clean. It's a fresh start for anybody and everybody. Let's play fresh season, right? And let's play loose. We have players on this team who know what it takes to get to the state Final Four. They were on the team last March. We have the components to make it happen. We got to put all those components together and then go forward and then play solid, hard offense and defense, be disciplined, all of those other things that you need to develop a tournament run.
One thing that could help or hinder St. Francis, depending on how the next 10 days or so goes, obviously Friday night against Central Catholic, I believe they have another regular season game the following Friday against Whitmer, which could be a really nice on-ramp for them into the tournament.
Momentum.
Where, they beat Scott last night. They beat Start on Monday. No matter what happens Friday, still a chance to possibly end their regular season 3-1 and take some good feeling into the postseason. Either that or they fail to win Friday. Whitmer's playing quite a bit better of late, although they got run by Perrysburg last night.
Beat up last night, yeah.
Whitmer goes out and wins. Then Whitmer's feeling good going into the D1 tournament. And then if you're Coach Kaczmarek, then it's absolutely blank slate, 0-0. Let's forget about all that and see what happens.
And for Coach Floyd and company, a chance with this win on Friday to sweep both St. Francis and St. John's throughout the regular season.
That's
great
a heck
feeling.
of a thing.
Yeah, great, especially with how good all three of those teams are. 7:15 p.m. on the BCSN main channel or the BCSN Plus app. We'll put a bow on the show after 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings. Spencer, hit it.
I've saved so much money enjoying Buffalo Wild Wings BOGO half-off traditional Wing Tuesdays. I can finally afford everything I've ever wanted in life. Wings. All I ever wanted was more wings. So yeah, buy one, get one half-off traditional wings is the perfect deal for me and my lifetime yearnings. I value it more than literally anything. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
You want to know who the 1 seed is in my bracket? It's the Midas Games list. Every single week, the Midas Games list is number 1 on my bracket. They get a first-round bye. I'll put them in the district final at that. Here we go. Midas Games list. Check it out, Spencer. Here we are. Friday night matchup. We talked to you about St. Francis Central. Anthony Wayne at Northview in Buckeye action. St. John's, a great matchup with St. Ed coming to town, and then Findlay, Whitmer, Lima Senior Perrysburg we talked about, and then a fun one, Bowling Green at Clay. Clay looking for revenge. They lost to BG earlier this season.
A lot of tourney tune-up games there as the boys basketball season kind of comes to a close. The brackets. And this Friday, first team all BCSN
Top
watch
10.
list go from 30 to 10. I got the list of 10 right here. No, you cannot see that.
Spencer almost gave a spoiler. Brandon Carnes, Justin Feldkamp, thank you again to Mace for coming to hang out with us.
My
Be
pleasure.
sure you're here on Friday for the Med1 Care Top 10. We'll see you next week.